seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Eliot, your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, coming to you live from the city of New York, where we get together every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific to check over the tarot cards to see if how many of you people are hiding confidential documents. There, I said it. Yeah, okay. We're all under suspicion. So it could happen to anybody. I keep hearing that in the news. It could happen to anybody. Well, it never happened to me. I don't even know if I have a library book that's overdue. I try to keep my nose clean, as they say. Anyway, the city of New York is getting back to normal. I mean, we have, so maybe I'm just a few blocks away from a hotel where a few international guests are refusing to leave. But that's, that kind of stuff is pretty normal for New York. The movies are back here. People are filming again. We hadn't had that for a couple of years, of course. I walked out of the building the other day, and as happens, if you ever run into me in the street, which is a distinct possibility if you visit New York, because I live in a tourist area. I live in a part of the city that people visit. I'm just off Times Square. I have around my neck, I have a little teeny tiny little retro camera that I carry around with me, and I use it to, oddly enough, take pictures, which is what they're for. And I always get the same questions about that camera, which is, does it work? Things like that. People say it's a spy camera. That's a great spy camera you got there, mister. And I say, well, if it really was a good spy camera, you wouldn't have noticed it. I used to have a camera in my wristwatch. See, now that was a spy camera. I don't no comment beyond that. But yes, I used to have it still pictures and video and audio, did the whole thing. It was beautiful, the little spy camera. So I get that camera gets me into more conversations. One time, a city bus driver, pulled up on 7th Avenue and honked the horn and yelled at me, come over here. And I didn't know. Was he recruiting? I know ridership on the city's buses were down. It was all down, but I didn't know that they were impressing people like the British used to do before the Revolutionary War. But he saw the camera around my neck and wanted to talk to me about it. So I spoke to him. And nobody on the bus seemed to mind. I guess nobody was in much of a hurry. I think since we shut down everything, people haven't been in as much of a hurry here. I think they learned that they can get by without doing things constantly. This used to be a very rushed city. I mean, always hurrying. I once got knocked down to the ground by Mayor Giuliani's police detail because I was in the way when they needed to go into somewhere, and they just shoved me out of the way and knocked me down. Another time I was knocked down on 5th Avenue by police because they were running after a guy with a gun, and in that case I stayed down. Let me tell you, there's times in life to stand up and be indignant, but when there's people running around with guns, that's not the time. That's when you start making yourself a teeny target. You want to make yourself smaller. But I've never seen anybody shot in New York, have I? Have I ever seen anyone shot in New York? No, I haven't. And I'm a native. I've seen a lot of celebrities in New York. That's what I was leading into, which is I was walking down the street yesterday with my little camera around my neck, and Sarah Jessica Parker stopped me in the street to tell me how much she liked my cute camera, and then hustled back into the trailer. She had some shooting to do, or a scene coming up, or a costume change. The city is bustling with irrelevant movie actors making irrelevant TV shows. So what can you do? I'm a New Yorker, and there's a law. A lot of people don't know this, but if you live in New York City, and a lot of you listening to this may decide to come and move here because it's an exciting city where anything can happen. But once you get here, you are required by law to do three name droppings a day. Now, Sarah Jessica Parker is just the only one that I can do today, so I'm falling behind in my quota. But she does have 3 names, so maybe that counts. I have had people, oddly enough, stop me on the street and say, "Hey, you're Reverend Eliot," and I think that's remarkable, considering that most of what I do is on radio here. So they find me. I do wear a big "Hi, I'm Reverend Eliot" button, but that's beside the point. But people have recognized me from Ask One Radio, which is quite an achievement. Of course, all that's going to change when I start delivering on my threat to go video, which I will. I'm looking at my video equipment off to the side of the studio here. I dust it once in a while. It's all set to go, except I'm a little nervous about it. Oh, man. I'm such a creature of radio and a creature of habit that it's a little difficult. Speaking of creature of habit and little difficult, I haven't shaved in a few days, so that's another thing. I generally shave even before doing the radio show. I like to prep and be good, but I've been very lazy about repairing the lamp in the ceiling in the bathroom, and without a lamp at night, we got plenty of light in the daytime, but at night I can't. I mean, I'm all for doing things in the dark and saving on electricity, but shaving with a straight razor isn't one of them. It's a little dicey anyway, which brings me to my February offer. I would like to do this just because it's a silly thing to do, and I think it's fun. See, I still have like a little bit of a cold. That kept me out of here one day a couple of weeks back. I have a book on how to shave with a straight razor. Now, I know that that's a little bit daunting to a lot of people. It's quite easy to do. I got into an argument. I write about this in the book, too. I got into an argument with a guy online who said that he had tried shaving with a straight razor and he kept cutting his face to ribbons. And I was stupid enough to say, well, you weren't doing it right then. Well, because obviously men have been shaving with a straight razor for centuries. And if you cut yourself to ribbons every time you do it, you're doing something wrong. You're not doing it properly. But apparently that goes on the list of things you can't say to people, like you don't have a sense of humor and you can't drive. Those are, you should say that to people. And those are surefire fight starters. But that helped give me the idea of writing a book on how to do it. And because the primary problem, the thing that kept me from doing it and shaving that way, and I'm glad I found a way around this problem, is all the maintenance. You have to do all kinds of maintenance on the razor. You have to oil it. You have to strop it. You have to hone it. You have to people send their blades off the straight razor. They send them off to a factory 2 times a year to get resharpened. And that's just too much work. To me, that's just unnecessary. I know people have been doing that too for hundreds of years, but that's their problem. So I found a way around it. I found a way that you can actually shave like the wonderful old-fashioned way. And you can do it without cutting yourself to ribbons, and you can do it without having to devote half your life to maintaining the razor, because you exist. The razor exists for you. You don't exist for the razor. Let's put it that way. And that was the thing that got me through the hurdle. And then I tested the system out on myself, and it works. And then I wrote the book, which I think is a wonderful, humorous book. And if I do say so myself, and it's profusely illustrated, and it delves into the history of shaving and all things like that. But here's the deal that I'm offering is if you want to get one of these this month, this is February. We're starting I thought it because this is the first day of the month. And as long as it's the first day of a month, let's start off with an offer of something. And if you get from Amazon.com a copy of my shaving book, I will send you a free shaving soap with it, which is a beautiful Mojo Brothers. That's my own brand of shaving soap that we have specially made to order, and it is just the fluffiest, nicest, most wonderful shaving soap I've ever used. This is why I'm only talking about it, because I can't shave at night, and I'm not a morning person. Until I get that lamp fixed, I'm just going to grow a beard, it seems, and I don't like it, and that, of course, is that only came up in my mind because of the video stuff. That, yes, I am going to be doing the show video soon. You'll be able to see me here and hear me see. I don't know. That sounded right when I thought of it. But so get yourself a copy of A Modern Way to an Old-Fashioned Shave. You can see that at Amazon.com. And I will, anyone who orders it through Amazon, I will send you a free tin of Mojo Brothers shaving soap. And that's a special free offer that I think you'll like. So check out the book, because now the main thing is, and a lot of men hate shaving, and I understand why, because it's a chore and it's just it can be a waste of time in many ways. But if you do it right, if you approach it from the opposite from the opposite point of view, like it's not something you have to do, but something that you can do, something you can take your time with and relax with. I show how you can turn it into an almost meditative experience. Because Albert Einstein himself wondered about shaving. He said that, why is it I always get my best ideas while I'm shaving? So because he's from the generation that shaved the old-fashioned way. And that you take time with. You got to be present in the moment, and you got to be relaxed, and you don't just and it's gone. So check out that book. I'll put a link to it at my Facebook page, at the Reverend Eliot's Tarot Consulting page at Facebook, which I urge you all to take a look at, because it's a wonderful little informative place. Then I put up sort of nice little fun facts about esoteric lore and links to things at my website, which is kind of fun. But for the month of February, just keep in mind that if you get a copy as a gift for somebody, see, Valentine's Day is coming up. Valentine's Day would be a good gift for the man in your life, a book on how to use shaving as a meditation technique, how to get the most out of it, how to get the cleanest, closest shave you've ever had in your life, and get a free shaving soap while doing it, and read about it and get a bunch of laughs and learn. That's the offer that I want to make today. Just I don't even have a presentation for that. Maybe I'll make a little ad and put that up at Facebook. It's just an inspiration that just hit me to tell you that if you get that book through Amazon.com, I will throw in a shaving soap. If you want 2 shaving soaps, just let me know when you order the thing too. Maybe we can arrange that. No charge. Well, we're all shuffled up. As you hear, the cards are being shuffled. What else? What we still had no snow. I mean, last time we spoke, I was talking about how terrified everybody is about snow and rain when it hits this city. Today, one of the most ridiculous headlines I ever saw in anything relating to the news, they said that this length of time in the winter, New York City has gone without snow now. They say it's unprecedented, and it hasn't happened since 1973. Well, geniuses, if it happened in 1973, it's not unprecedented, is it? I don't know what they think that word means, but I've got a theory. Looking at the newspapers lately, like the last 8 or 9 years, I think that all the editors are on strike. I think I'll head over to the Daily News or to the New York Post building, and maybe the New York Times, definitely, and just see if anybody is walking a picket line there, and has been for 10 years. Because I'm sure, it seems to me that the editors are on strike because the sentences don't make sense anymore. It's unprecedented, and it hasn't happened since 1973. I feel like Oliver Hardy now. Well, we're all shuffled up. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get to the tarot readings now? As you can tell, I'm a little chatty because I missed the show last week. There was technical problems. The internet was dead in this part of New York, so that was I couldn't open up the window and use a megaphone and get to all of you people. I just use a microphone. So let's ring a bell 3 times to declare sacred space, which means no more babbling, and take a look at what's in the cards. Nice quiet three bells today. We'll pull back the curtain on the magical window for Desiree in Iowa. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm just kind of nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Just like you're talking to an old friend. How's that?
Okay.
Well, now you're going to get me nervous.
I'm sorry.
Do you laugh?
I've been trying to get a hold of you guys for like a couple of weeks.
Are you one of the people who laughs when you're nervous?
Yeah.
Well,
Extremely.
that's it. Yeah, because I've had experience as a comedian, and just laughing around me is just going to. I'll never let you off the phone if you laugh at everything. You're doomed. You'll be talking to me forever. So I get that way too. By the way, that's the funny thing is when I get nervous, I start laughing. We would be fun in a plane crash, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, probably.
So what can I look at for you tonight?
I believe it. I really wanted to look into my love life.
Okay.
It's just I want to know like which way to go, what to do. Like I'm just really confused.
Okay, let me tell you something. I've got some interesting stuff here. The first card I have is the Ten of Cups, and cups are about romance and emotional things. So that's good. The cards are listening to you. The Ten of Cups is the happiest card around. It's about perfected happiness and joy and love and family. So what the cards are saying right off the bat is don't worry about it. No matter how difficult it may seem, you're going to be all right. The Hermit is here. The Hermit shows that the Hermit means you're going to be taking advice. You're going to meet somebody who's going to give you some good advice and help you out. That could be me for all I know, but it's probably somebody closer to you in your life. The Three of Rods tells me that you're going to get what you want, but it's going to take a little bit of time. The threes are about waiting for something to develop. But I have a card here that I'm concerned about. Have you been in a relationship recently that didn't work out?
Yeah, actually, he's currently in jail right now, and we're just like on the fence.
Well, because I've got a card here that shows that somebody is not being honest with you about certain things, whatever, that we could go into if you want, but it's just there's somebody in the background, somebody is messing around and maybe gossiping and saying things about you. Do you have the feeling that that's what's going on?
Yeah, a lot of the time, like through our relationship, it's always been like third parties that, like when it's just us, we're just fine, we're great. It's like magical, but then like his family, other women, friends, like they just hate the fact that we're together, and then like they create.
Yeah, that's the card that I see. That's the Five of Swords, by the way, if you ever want to look at the card online, if you don't have a tarot deck of your own. But yeah, so that's the cards are showing me that that's what's been going on. And I wanted to ask that as delicately as possible because it's a very sensitive subject, but I'm glad to see that you're aware of it. And these cards are just confirming it then for you, because that's the source of the problem here. Remember, though, that the very first card I got was perfected happiness and joy and the family and the happy home. So eventually it's going to work out. Okay, you'll be fine.
Is it with this one person? Is it with the same person? Because I don't know if I should wait for him.
Well, are you still there? Have I lost you? Well, if Desiree, if you can still hear me, you asked about waiting, and that's the card that I got, which is the Four of Swords, which is about a person who's waiting. So it's hard to say, because I do see either a new relationship coming your way or this relationship reaching a new level. I don't have the ability to explore that at the moment. But that's what I'm seeing, is that this is going to be a period of a timeout. this is going to be easy. I've got that card again. There are still people working against you. There are still people talking about you too, not just you alone, but the both of you. And I've got the Seven of Swords, which is also about somebody who's sneaking around in the background and doing things. There's really a lot of negative stuff happening around you and this relationship that's coming from other people, not from you two. So that has to be dealt with, and before anything else can move forward. That's the most I can see at this point. I'm sorry that you got cut off, but that's as far as I can go at the moment. Let me just see. Again, I've got cards that show that things are going to be okay for you, but it's going to take time, and it's going to take work. Things like the Six of Swords, that's about a person who gets from where they are to where they want to be through their own efforts. So keep that in mind, because it's right now, because you got the 5 and the 7 here that I pointed out, those sword cards, you're facing you're facing trouble from a lot of people around you. So if you're still listening to this, if you can hear me, if you listen to the show in the archives, drop me a line. My email is asktarot@earthlink.net, and I can pull a few more cards for you to make up for the connection that went south. Jody in Mesquite, Nevada is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Well, that's what I'm here for. What can I look at for you tonight?
Basically just anything to see if hopefully things are going to get better. Things have just been really rough the last year or so.
Okay, well, first of all, you got the single most positive card in the deck just showed up. So that's good.
Oh, wow.
Might not even have to read beyond that, but I will. It's the Fool card. Now, that doesn't mean you're a fool. The Fool is the card. The gypsies refer to the card, and the person who gets that card is the beloved of God. There's divine protection, that things will work out. I'm getting cards of contradictory cards here. This is very interesting, because I'm getting cards like here, the Six of Swords, that's a card of forward motion. The Four of Swords, that's a card of just staying put. The Death card is a card of a new phase in your life beginning, and the Two of Swords is about nothing much happening. It's about stagnation. You see, I'm getting great conflict here.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
The Wheel of Fortune is here. That refers to change in your life coming. And the next card is the World, which is a card of great joy and happiness and success. But right now, it seems to me that you're kind of in a roller coaster thing, getting shuffled back and forth and back and forth. You know, things look good one day and then bad. If you get the feeling that that's what's going on, that's what the cards say is going on.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't question your sanity in that sense, because what I'm seeing here is it's not you. You're getting really positive cards here. The Sun, the World. This is all after the Wheel of Fortune that says this up and down situation is going to change. Probably because you're entering a new phase in your life, and that change is difficult. It's going to be a positive change in your life, but it's still change, and that's very difficult to deal with for most of us. And I'm saying us for a reason, because I'm not too big on change either. This is one of the reasons. I mean, I knew a guy who couldn't understand why couples that apparently hated each other stay together for years, until it finally dawned on him that people would rather be miserable than be lonely.
Yep.
Because loneliness is a change that a lot of people can't handle. But what I'm seeing, with you is that the change is coming, and it's going to be very good for you. The change revolves around something sad that happened to you not long ago. That may have been the trigger for something changing. a relationship not going well. You don't have to go into any details if you don't want to, but what I'm saying is that when this up and down transition period ends, you've got nothing but really high quality positive cards here. And your life is about to change for the better, which is, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean you're going to like it while it's happening, but it's going to be good. It'll end up being for the best. And I don't mean that in the sense of, a blessing in disguise. When something happens to you and people say, well, it's a blessing in disguise, you really got shafted big time. But it's no, this is no blessing in disguise. You're entering a period of life where everything is going to be really good. It's just that getting there involves so many changes and so many ups and downs that it feels difficult, but there's still some sorrow attached to something that happened to you not long ago. There was a relationship that didn't work out, something along those lines.
I'm not sure if it's either a year and a half ago I had a stroke and found a brain tumor, and that's when things went bad with my husband, or I lost my cousin who is very close to me.
Well, there's great sadness that something very upsetting and sad happened, and you're dealing with that, and that's why you have these up and down emotions. But you're going to come through it okay. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm still in this I keep saying ex-husband, because we've been separated over a year. But he still keeps coming back like we're married, but we're not. I mean, we are, but it's just really messed up.
I've been there myself. I know exactly what you're talking about. I had a marriage that didn't work out at all. That's to say the least. But she kept wanting to get something going again, and it's very confusing and very painful. But that's gone. That's over with as far as it has been for years. That I mean, I did meet someone else, and we've been together for about 40 years now. So it's a long time. So it's not the end. And you're younger than I am. That's for sure. I can tell you that. But because most people I meet are younger. Most people I meet are younger than I am.
I don't know.
So
but
you'll
it makes sense what you were saying, the roller coaster, and yes, it all makes sense to me.
Well, when this happens in our lives, we start thinking, is it me? Is this just me? Is there something wrong with me? Because one minute you're up and the next minute, but you see, but the cards are, this is what the cards are showing, complete contradictions, that up and down thing. So yeah, it's confirmation in the cards of what's happening in your life, and it's not that it's not you in that sense. I mean, obviously it is. It's manifesting in your life because that's what's going on in your life now, but it's real. It's not one of these imagined things. So just again, what I'm seeing is the key to this whole thing is the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords, which are cards of sadness and an affair of the heart, kind of wrong. I mean, the Three of Swords, it's about internal conflict. If somebody asked me about the state of a nation, and they got that card, it would indicate civil war. So it's that deep.
Okay.
So that's the thing, is that it's really reverberating throughout what you're involved with now. That combined with your own medical situation, it's very, I've been dealing with medical stuff for several years now, and I understand what that's like. A lot of people don't. They think it's not like just getting a cold and getting better. Some illnesses reverberate and they stay with us because they change us. They change us a lot. Here, I got the Fool card again. See, that's saying you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Okay. So
Well,
just
it
to
makes so much sense, and I really appreciate it.
well, great. I'm glad it helped out. What I'll do is after the show, I will light a white candle to send some positive energy your way. But please know that it's being sorted out. You're working it out. You're going to get through this. It's just that this is not. It's painful, So you'll
It is helpful.
but it's not something you're imagining. Let's put it that way. That's what's worth knowing, I think. Okay.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh boy, and that's some heavy duty stuff. And when things go bad in a relationship and one party doesn't quite accept it, it's pretty strange. But that's because there's always an emotional tug. There's always something there that's going on, and I'm here to tell you that these things do work themselves out. People move on, people change, and like I said, we find where we're supposed to be. And this is the kind of stuff I like reading tarot cards for, because it looks at the aura around a situation. It's not like the usual stuff they show in movies where somebody goes to get a reading and the gypsy gasps, and then next thing you know, a piano falls out the window on them or something silly. These are very profound issues, and you can do a tarot reading for an hour on one subject and really tear into it and go into it. I do that all the time with people. And in fact, I don't know if should I mention this? Yeah, I will. I've got a new kind of tarot reading. I guess I'm an innovator in that sense, because that just means I'm a pain in the neck, is what it really means. It means I don't leave well enough alone. So I spoke to you about trying to upgrade the shaving experience by making the old-fashioned shave more accessible without all that silly taking care of the tools like you're a surgeon. But I'll be announcing this soon, and I will be doing a special thing about it here on Ask One Radio. I'm going to be doing a different kind of a tarot reading. It's going to be pretty damn expensive. I could warn you in advance. But we will tackle everything in that reading. Everything. It's not just cards. It's got other aspects to it, and you'll get your money's worth. That's for sure. But it's going to be a very special kind of a reading, and it's just for a few people, and it's not something everybody should do, but just for a few people, and you'll know if it's right for you. It's not the kind of thing, because it's expensive. I'm not going to try to shove it at anybody, but you'll see. It's going to be an interesting experience for both of us, because, see, the main thing is, it's not about just me telling you what I see in the cards. We work through these things together. And when this reading experience that I'm developing now, you will be different and I will be different when it's over. This is something we will do together. It's not something I do for you. It's not something I do instead of you doing it. It's something we will be doing together, and it will take a day at least. Probably, I'm thinking about 2 or 3 days worth of reading. It's an intensive thing. But more on that as it develops. Wendy in Brandon, Mississippi is next. Hi, Wendy. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good.
Well, maybe we can make that better. What can I look at for you? What would you like to look at?
My future, if you could. I've been kind of, I don't know,
okay,
like stuck, I guess, ever since my children's father passed away about a year ago.
Well, the first card I have is the Ten of Swords. And that is an interesting card, especially if you ask about the future, because that is about the past in a sense, because what it means is a lot of bad things have happened and they're over now. The bad stuff is over. It's a nasty looking card. Shows a person lying face down in the mud, beaten up, bloody, sword sticking in her back. But it doesn't mean you're
Yes,
dead. It just means that life threw a lot at you, and you're still here,
sir.
and you're going to get up, and you're going to be okay. So that's worth knowing. In fact, the next card is the Wheel of Fortune, which tells me that this situation is going to change, and that's good. That reinforces the Ten of Swords, because the Ten of Swords is about the troubles are over. The Strength card shows me that you do have a lot of strength, because that's what got you this far, right? Is you've been working
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much on strength. So
I
there's
tend to not ever give up.
well, the thing is, there's something good coming your way. The Four of Cups is here. That's a card of life is about to offer you something very good in terms of emotional well-being. Could be romance. It could just be comfort, but you don't see it yet. It's on the way, but it's hidden. So
That
and
makes
that's
sense.
and then the next card is the Ten of Cups, which I had earlier for somebody, which is perfect. I mean, it's happiness perfected, and it's joy, and it's things. Man, you cannot get farther away from that first card, which is gray and dark and nasty looking. That was the Ten of Swords I told you about. This has sunlight and rainbows and children singing and dancing, because this is telling me that you've been through an awful lot of hard times, You've had the strength to deal with it. The Wheel of Fortune tells me that the situation is changing, probably because of your strength. The Four of Cups says that there's something coming to you. Life is about to offer you something really good. The Ten of Cups is perfected happiness. Here's the Star. There's a good card. That's about hope and optimism. So there's good stuff coming your way.
Okay.
There's a slight warning here, but it's no big deal. It's the Five of Cups. That's about a person who's concentrating on what was lost, and it's not obsessed, but it's still fresh. So
Sounds like
the losses it's still there, but there's right behind the person is two cups that are fine, as opposed to three spilled cups. Meaning that you'll turn around eventually and you'll see that that you didn't lose as much as you thought you did. You didn't suffer, as big a hit in terms of life. And you'll be moving out of that, commonly referred to as like the grieving experience. But you have to do that for as long as you need to do it. And I never, ever, ever, ever believe in anyone saying you've snap out of it. Why don't you? You've grieved enough. You deal with it in your own way, in your own time. And if it starts to be getting in the way of your life, then maybe you want to seek a little help. But at the moment, you're still reacting to some really bad times that hit you. And you have to see for yourself that the bad times are over.
a lot of it, I thought things were going to be a certain way, and now it's not going to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of threw me off.
Well, it's a very difficult thing to have expectations that fall apart, because the first thing we learn then is okay, next time I'm not going to go into anything with any expectations, but we always do. You know that. Yeah. I mean, we all do that. I can just tell you this: the Temperance card is here too, and the Sun. Now, these are very important cards because both of them are about growth and healing. The Temperance card means that balance is going to be restored in your life. It's been way out of balance for quite a while, but you're going to get that balance back. And the Sun is about healing and growth and health and happiness. I got 3 cards here that indicate children. Do you have children, or are you planning to have children?
I have
Pardon?
2 children.
Yeah, because the cards that I'm seeing are showing that your well-being is going to be intimately associated with the children.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming. The main message in this reading is that the bad things are over. You're not going to you're not going to really absorb that until you can see it and feel it for yourself. But I'm just telling you, that's what the cards are saying. And when you do, you're still remember that 5 of cups. The person is looking at 3 cups that are spilled and is ignoring the 2 that are not spilled. Well, that's still the phase that you're in now, because it hurt. Whatever happened, it was extremely painful. It hurt a lot, and you're not ready to turn around yet. But when you do, you'll have healing and health and growth, and balance will be restored to your life. It starts out with such pain here, and yet shows you moving into better times, and it's a highly positive reading.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good. I hope it helps.
Goodness. Oh, it did. It just helped extremely.
And I want you to do me a favor. At some point, because this is no problem, but people tend to get readings like this and then forget them, because it's almost like it never happened.
I'm writing it down.
Well, also, it's the beauty of Ask One Radio is you can go to askoneradio.com and you can go to the archive, and after tomorrow, this show will be there, and you can listen to this call. Just look for the Reverend Eliot's Magical Window show from February 1st, and you'll be there at about 11:35 or so, 11:40, in that area. And take a look, a listen, because you're going to need to hear this again, because you've been through such a mess that it's going to be hard to believe it's over. Let me just tell one more card here I got for you. I got the Ace of Swords for you. The Ace of Swords is important. That's about a new way of thinking is appearing in your life. You're growing, and your mind is developing and changing in new, different ways. You're reacting to what's happened to you. So that's the key, is that it's your mind expanding. And that's going to help you bring back balance and healing and health and growth and happiness. Okay, Wendy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want you to listen.
Thank you so much.
And I want you to listen to this reading again at the archives when the show is up in the next day or so. All right?
Will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for calling. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And let's just shuffle up the cards here, because see, that's one of the beauties of modern technology, and doing a reading this way is you can hear it again, because people have a tendency to act like it never happened, because you're being exposed to something unexplainable, something mystical. If you go to my website, magic-works.com, magick-works.com, there is a wonderful old movie from the 1930s about an occult operator. It's called Chandu the Magician, which was also the name of a radio serial. And this was the film was based on that. And one of my favorite moments in the radio show, it's not in the movie, but in the radio show, the guy had, maybe they couldn't afford it, the budget, but he had like hundreds of people attacking this magician in the desert on horseback, and he stops them. He stops them cold with an incantation, and has one come over, and he tells him everything that he wants from him after stopping the attack. And the guy swears to be his servant forever. But the magician knows that by the next day, the man's going to act like this never happened. He's going to convince himself it never happened. And that happens a great deal, that people will get a reading. It's so out of the ordinary. Most people don't get tarot readings, let's face it. And it's just so out of the ordinary. And they'll hear things and they'll understand them. But within a day or so, a lot of people will convince themselves that it never happened, that it was just a bunch of cards and it was a coincidence. So that's why it's good now you can hear it. And if you do a reading with me off the air, if you want to get a reading with me, and you can read all about how to do that at magic-works.com, magic-works.com. We can do that. We do that through Skype, and you can hit the record button, and then you'll have a copy of the reading to listen to at any time. So that's good. I like that about the technology. Chris in Englewood, Florida is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Beautiful.
I'm very excited.
What can I look at for you tonight?
Well, get your crystal ball out and figure out what our family's supposed to do. We're kind of we're at a crossroad, and we really need some direction.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because this is almost the imagery on the first card that I have here. It's the Chariot, and that is a person who's in a chariot on the road, and one horse is white and one horse is black, and one wants to pull you this way and the other one wants to pull you that way, and you have to hold it together and get that thing to go the way you want it to go, and that's not easy, right? That's the tension.
Right. Right.
So let me see what I've got here. Well, the thing, I'm not seeing anything changing or moving right away. Okay, the next card I've got is the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is about a stalemate. It's about meaning in life things not necessarily moving, which means you can take your time. That you're in there. I'm getting these cards like feeling stuck, which is the Eight of Swords. You don't know which way to go. You don't know what to do. But I also have, and I hope this doesn't sound like a cop-out, but I have the Fool. I had that earlier in the first reading. The Fool is the beloved of God. The Fool is the card where everything you do is going to be fine, that you have divine protection, that you have angelic protection. So, you're good. You're going to be okay. I see a new.
And you know what's so funny is I understand that. It's just being able to put it into a perspective for others to understand.
Well,
that's and being able to be able to not feel, to allow. We've had this vision and what we've worked with really manifesting through the universe for things to happen, and we really are at a stalemate. Truly is exactly what we said today.
Well, that's the card. Yeah, those are the cards I've got here. The thing is that, now here's another, the Four of Swords. I had that earlier too. This is a period of taking time out with nothing really happening. You're just going to have to stay the course for a while, which is that Chariot, which is just keep holding it together for a while. But I'm getting extremely strong indications that. Have you been having financial problems?
No.
Okay, because I'm getting if you did, it's going to be over soon enough, is what I'm seeing. Because I'm seeing a lot of money floating around you. I mean, cards
about
that
money floating around went out.
Yeah.
The abundance came in, and I was able to do some incredible blessings in the last 3 or 4 weeks that I never in my entire life on this earth thought could happen, and it did. And so I'm very grateful. So
well, I'm seeing more money.
Very blessed.
I'm seeing more money again coming in. I'll tell you what I've got. The Knight of Coins and the Ace of Coins. These are both about beginnings. And of course, coins, obvious. The Six of Coins is a card of philanthropy in the sense of somebody's going to provide you with money. Here's the King of Coins. There's so much money floating around in your reading here that it's just, that money isn't going to be a problem. It's the Page of Coins. That's it's there. There's money on the way. So
excellent.
But right now, the only thing I can tell you is, because you feel the same thing, which is that stalemate, that things that aren't moving. The Nine of Rods is here. And the Nine of Rods is a person who is standing there waiting for what's going to come next. But the important thing is that the person in that card is extremely well prepared for what's coming next. This is why in some tarot decks, the person has a bandage on the head with a little blood showing through. And that just means you've been through the battles of life. It's metaphorical. It doesn't mean you're going to get clobbered. It just means that
it's a good thing.
Yeah, and because what's coming, you're prepared for. It's and then the Seven of Rods is here, and that's a person who can sweep away obstacles. Here's another, the Eight of Rods. That means whatever's going to happen is going to be, it's on the way. It's coming soon, but it's going to work out okay. The Six of Rods. Somehow, see, I'm getting cards of money and career, coins and rods. The Six of Rods is triumph. So you'll be okay. You're going to be successful. It's going to take a little more time. The Eight says it's not going to take a terribly lot more time. It's on the way. So whatever is going to be coming is coming, and you're well prepared for it, and you'll do well with it. That's the message I see from this.
Excellent.
I got to run.
Wow. Thank you. I heard what you said to her previously. I'll go and listen to the repeat. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. I so appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of Reverend Eliot's Magical Window. And wow, look how the time flies. If you didn't get through and you wanted to get through, you can reach me off the air at asktarot@earthlink.net. That's the email is asktarot, ASKTAROT @earthlink.net. Earthlink. That like predates AOL, right? That's how long I've been doing this. asktarot@earthlink.net. There's also a contact form at magic-works.com, magick-works.com. Take a look. As I mentioned, I have a special offer for that book that teaches you how to do teaches a man how to shave beautiful. Oh, my wife has loved the way my skin has been ever since I've been shaving this way, because it's like so soft, and I only have to shave about every 2 days when I use this, because it's very close. You can go to, it's a tiny URL that'll give you go to mojoacademy.org. Go to mojoacademy.org and check the shaving thing. But you can also go to tinyurl.com/happy-shave. See, we think of everything in this technological era. tinyurl.com/happy-shave. And to take a look at that. The offer is not there yet, but it will be, because I only invented the offer while I was talking to you guys. You see, you pried it right out of me, which is a free Mojo Brothers shaving soap. But take a look at the stuff over there at mojoacademy.org. I got to get to the post office tomorrow, mail out a whole bunch of books, at least a dozen more books. So that brings us to the end of tonight's show, and we will get together again next week at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific to take a look through the magical window of the tarot. Until then, remember, who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift back to the universe. It's been great talking to you, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.